Right. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight to thank you for all your many blessings. Father, we thank you for Jesus. We thank you for the grace. We thank you for the mercy. And Father, we pray that you'll just go with us throughout this meeting. Father, I pray that your will be done. Father, I pray that you'll be with all the ones that's sick. Father, be with this country, the leaders of this country. Father, I pray that you'll just intervene in the situation. I pray that you'll be in the election today, Father. Father, I pray that you'll just go with us throughout this meeting, Father. I pray that we'll come together as one, Father, and unite. And Father, I pray that you'll just help us to be the hands and feet that you've called us to be, Father. Father, we thank you and we love you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. David, now, you're the only one on our list for tonight, I guess. So, and Jan, I think, answered most of your questions. Would you like for her to go over those again?
No, I'd like to just go over what I got, and if that's good with y'all.
Yeah, sure.
First thing I got, of the 9 board members, how many of y'all are on the county water? Just one? How many customers does the county have, roughly, I guess?
Let me go back and kind of adjust that question. Alec is in our service district. We just haven't served him yet. So he has the capability of being on the water.
Okay. No, he's not on it.
But he's not on, no. The water hasn't gotten to him yet.
Right.
How many active customers?
Just roughly guessing, how many customers?
1,230.
Oh, you. The city of Hamilton gave a 50% discount to all their customers. Did y'all get that?
We're gonna address, well, we got to approach this in a little bit different way. Is 60% of our customers are on the GUIN end, and they weren't affected.
Right.
So about 40% of our customers are the only ones that got affected, and we're going to go over that tonight about what to do with those folks. It is going to be addressed.
I don't hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but I had 41 households that's on county water that comes from Hamilton that was without water during the last disaster.
Well, yeah, well, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the citizens that are on GUIN or hailable water weren't affected.
Okay.
I had asked, and Jan told me, y'all, the 10-inch line out at the interstate, y'all flush that roughly 450,000 gallons a month or so, give or take, and you said if they needed more, y'all flush a little more.
Yeah, because we flush all over the system. ADEM requires us to have a flushing program because we have a lot of dead-end lines, and that's what some of this grant money is going to do. It's going to loop the dead ends together to keep us from having to lose so much money flushing.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Y'all had said that the state was paying for that out on the interstate, $750 a month.
They are.
Well, it looks like if that's the case, you'd be losing $420 every time you do that. If you're paying the city of Hamilton $1,170 for those 450,000 gallons.
When we made that agreement, the water wasn't costing us that much.
But it is today.
Well, yeah, but the agreement that we have with the state is what it is.
Well, I was just wondering if possibly in the future y'all could revisit that and tell the state, hey, we've got increased costs now.
They didn't want to pay. They didn't want to pay the $750.
Okay. Well, I know that, like I say, that's over $5,000.
But I had to negotiate. I had to negotiate with the state. I went to went to Montgomery, talked with the director at ALDOT, and we sat down. And I didn't want to upgrade to a 10. I knew there'd be a lot of flushing, but they felt like they needed the extra water for the Welcome Center. So we kind of had a discussion, and that's what we come up with. But at that time, the 750 would pay for the 450,000 gallons.
And then just to touch on the wells a little bit, you said when we do the wells that you'll be purchasing those 2 plots of land. And my thought was just with these wells, and it may be the greatest thing since sliced bread, I hope it is, because it'll fix my water problems. You're gonna have land purchases and chemicals that you gotta purchase, and then you'll have, I'm sure, the employee that you have, he'll increase from a grade 1 to 2 or 3, whatever that case might be.
I only require a grade 2, and I am already a grade 2.
So you'll be doing the treating?
I can.
Well, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you'd be doing it, or Jeff would be doing it, or your future employees, whoever that be.
Well, he is actually in the process of taking a test. He's studying for
But
the test.
if he passes and gets that grade, he'll increase in salary, I'm sure.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, because I know that's the way it is on the Hamilton's water guys. With all of that, and like I say now, and y'all been doing it for some time now, you're contracting the leader meeting with y'all's board pay increase that you took last year. I'm just wondering, as a customer, should I be expecting a rate hike coming in the future?
I think that I addressed that to you.
You did.
ADEM tells me that the cost of the wells and the maintenance and the chemicals and everything is going to be dramatically less than what we pay per thousand. So we're going to end up saving money.
Well, I knew at the last meeting you said you was going to continue to buy from Hamilton, but this would just be a backup.
Mm-mm. Hamilton will be the backup.
Okay. Well, maybe I misheard that at the last meeting. But that's all I got.
Okay, all right.
All right, thank you, appreciate that.
Engineer,
Anything that we need to,
Well, I guess I can go ahead and address some of this now if we want to. One thing, the city is wanting us to vote and give approval for them to move forward with the interconnect.
That was on their agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is we got the engineers of the South who bid the same interconnect to look at doing an 8-inch line tying directly to Franklin County, coming down Franklin County 27 and tying
That's
into
about
19.
13 miles.
I think it was
13.
11 or so, yeah.
12, I drove it, right at
Yeah.
12 miles.
So,
I knew it was 12 or 13.
and we've got the drawings that he's proposing that for us to look at and to make comments, and I made several copies here if you want, y'all want a copy to look at. We don't have to vote on anything, I don't suppose tonight, but this is just for us to look at,
yeah.
to see if we got any questions or
Board,
comments.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Did he have a cost estimate?
He wanted us to say that this intended route was okay before he went further into looking at cost estimates.
The new routes, yes.
Yeah.
10 miles. That's coming down the road.
Several copies in there.
Mr. Chairman, can I say something on this since Chris has talked about that line, and it'd be okay if I address y'all? First of all, if I said anything out of the way to offend any of y'all, at the last meeting, I apologize. I'm a Christian, and I try to do right. Sometimes as a human being we fail. But four of us commissioners went to Montgomery, Houston. And Ears and Kenneth had to leave and come on back. Me and Larry stayed around. I went in and talked to Garland. And I asked Garland, Garland, what would have to happen to redirect the funds from the wells to an interconnection to Franklin County? He said, I'll make a phone call. While me and Larry was sitting in his office, he called Lance LaFleur, the director of ADEM, the main man. And he said, I can make it happen. So today I called Lance LaFleur again. And this is what Randy from his office told me at 4:06 this afternoon. if y'all as a board wanted to do this interconnection with Franklin County, they could redirect that money from the wells. But y'all would have to vote on it, and y'all would have to send them a written request for that to be done.
Can I address
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
ADM called me this afternoon. The money for the wells is coming from a separate pot than the ARPA.
Right.
It's coming from the bipartisan infrastructure. That money was mostly to get customers off of the water from Ewan that has that PFAS. So they had told me today that that money couldn't be used for,
Well, what time did you get your phone call?
I'll tell you, it was at 4:37,
Who was it you called?
Bill Lott. And he said if there was any questions to call him. He said he wasn't sure that Lance knew where the money was coming from. But he said that bipartisan infrastructure money was specifically designed to get systems off problem water.
Well, here's my thing on that. If it's such a problem, why hadn't they forced the citizens of the city limits of Ewan to get off the water?
Well, they have no alternative.
That's, if it's that bad and they're wanting y'all to do it, then why are they not making their own citizens get off of it?
Well,
That's what I can't figure out.
they're building a new they're building a new treatment plant.
I know they're building new treatments.
And that's the reason why, is that PFAS never gets out of the water ever.
Right.
Who's over AD?
Lance LaFleur.
That's who he's talked to.
I'm not gonna say anything else. I'm just saying, the phone call I got today, that they said that that money was, for those wells, was specifically designed mostly to get our customers off Ewan. We've got 800 customers on that water. You said you don't want your family drinking that water, didn't you, Chris? No. So we've got 800 households drinking that water.
Is this one well gonna furnish that up here on the east side?
Should. But if it don't, we've got an emergency interconnect with the city of Haleville. We got that tied down.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm not gonna argue, I'm just saying that's what I was told today.
I'm not here to argue neither, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna take McClure's, or whatever his name is, word more than I'm gonna take the one that we've been dealing with, because we was told that this money could not be changed. It was set for this. That's what you requested it for as well. And they're saying it can be. It needs to come to a board vote to whether you want water on the 8-inch line to be a backup or be full-time for Hamilton. The rural area, the whole west side down to Barnesville, is what they're telling us, that it has to come to a vote to accept this 8-inch line. You don't have pumps, you've got nothing. I think Chris can explain what the guy said. And where it was 11 point something miles, me and Chris, 2 engineers, another guy, we went with them, it's 10 miles to do it. You do the figures on it, $30 a foot's high, $23, $24 a low price on it. You do the feet, 5,000, what is it, Chris, per mile? 5280. You do the figuring on it, you're looking at 1.5, no pumps, no nothing. You've got all the water you'll ever need on the west side and 19 off 8-inch line. Now that's what we're being told, and that's what we're taking from the engineer from Pelham, the one that came and done the same one for the city up here, that your engineer said couldn't be done. Well, it's being done. Y'all won't vote on that tonight, I found.
He didn't say it couldn't be done. But let me go ahead and straighten out some misconceptions. I went down to Montgomery. We had applied for the money for that line from Vina.
Did you run this grant through the county commission?
Just let her finish.
Let me finish.
Okay.
They are the ones that decided to cut that out and add 2 wells. It wasn't my decision.
Are you done? Okay, my question. You're telling me that the tie-ins that we have on the west side, that they designed all these tie-ins up on the east side, and they didn't do no tie-ins on the west side. And then you're telling me that they're saying the wells is the only way to go. And now they're telling us, the main man over ADM, here's a witness and here's a witness that sat in with Garland and said, we can turn that money and put it wherever we need to. But they need to vote it. And then my next question, do y'all run these grants through the Marion County Commission? This grant didn't go through the commission?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Do you run grants through the commission?
The CDBGs is all that were required. And that's the one that we tried last year, but the local match was too high. We couldn't afford it.
So what's this grant here?
ARPA money, part of it's ARPA, part of it is bipartisan infrastructure. We don't have to go through the county commission to do those.
So basically what you're saying is the head man over ADM don't know what he's talking about when he tells Larry and Greg and Garland Grudger that it can be done. All it needs is a vote to run an 8-inch line in the town of Franklin.
I'm not going to argue with you, Kenneth. All I'm told,
I'm just asking a question.
all I'm telling is the phone call that I got this afternoon.
So I'm gonna take your word over his and Garland's and Mr. McClure that's over the 8-inch.
I'm not saying anything else.
Now,
Why don't y'all just get in the same room and have the same conversations with the same people at the same time, rather than saying what each other's saying?
Hey, that's good.
That's good.
We have
I'm
to
saying,
do-
why have a conversation about something with the authority without consulting with the authority before we have the conversation?
That'll work.
now is that the route that we did the other day?
I'm sorry.
Steve?
Yeah, I mean,
That
I
area-
could've-
that was the route.
Yep.
That was the
That's the
route.
route we went on.
Yeah, the dirt road. That's the route that it would be, and he'll pay for that.
Those four went to Montgomery and stayed, and I stayed and went with the engineers and Chris and them, and we run that route and registered it. It's 10
And
miles.
that's the same route we did,
It
right?
cut a mile off. Yeah, it cut a mile off.
Took him up Sand Springs
Huh,
Road.
through Cedar Plain. And that's the way they come back with the thing. And Chris can tell you what he said about it. You know, he's still got to do some work, but he gives Chris a good idea of what needed to be done on that or whatever.
So if we can run an 8-inch line from, that's 187, right?
177.
177, back from there, all the way to the
Red Ballard
Red
Store,
Ballard
Highway
Store there.
20.
And that would, I don't have a vote here or anything, but I'm thinking that would be a good thing for us to do.
Ian, how much you say you think it would be to?
You can figure, y'all got contractors, I mean, you're looking
Well, I
at
mean,
$30 per foot is what I was quoted in 24, Summers in that neighborhood to do bids on it.
And you
5,228 feet.
it come out for what?
I hadn't done it, I would say 1.6.
Well, you have other stuff that goes with it. It's not just one. You got fire hydrants, you got located cable.
1.56,
You gotta
1.57.
do it all.
No
I mean, that's
pumps,
something
no
the
nothing.
engineer needs to work it all up.
And
Fire hydrants, valves, the whole
The
job.
whole, but you gotta have valves.
I thought that's what
That's
that.
part of it, but I
Yeah,
agree.
1.56 per mile.
You gotta have hydrants,
I
valves,
still like one.
you gotta get the engineers to do it. but
No, they're
We
talking about
need to
coming
go
straight
and
down
sit down and
19.
figure
They're
out
coming
how
another
much
route.
for me.
It'll still
I
have
wanna
to
make a call, see,
I'm not
what's
gonna
going
argue
on.
with you.
I think it's safe how much
But that's
money
not the best way to go,
around.
because, let me tell you something.
So he's just
The
saying.
money, the water that we buy in Rankin County, what we pay them is not gonna hit their
Twice
financial
the
work.
rent, you get the money.
That's what the main man told
I
me.
know.
Because, I mean, I don't care what we pay them.
Franklin County Water Friday. Spent about a half a day with operators at the plant. Plant really well
I
maintained,
called him today, I
Does a
wanted to
good
go
job.
down there
keeping it
and
up.
talk to him.
They're not even at half capacity as far as the future, there'd be no doubt. They're not even close to being maxed out.
Chris can answer this, the engineer from there, he's gonna do the rest of the
Well, you see,
hydraulics.
the
He's
only
gonna
thing
get the
is,
numbers,
putting
you
that
wait on
much
the
money in
numbers and
it,
see what it
and
costs,
that
and then
much
you can go.
water,
That-
none of it can
But
be sent to the
it
east
still
side
will
of
boil
the
down
county.
to, do you wanna
Down.
drill wells and take a chance? Does the board member wanna take a chance on drilling
None
wells?
of it
Or
can
do
be
you wanna
used on
hook on
the
to
east side of
8-inch
the
water
county.
and have
No.
all this it needs? That's
We can
the
get it
question.
funded, I know what I'm gonna do.
Dale wrote it, he knows where it's at.
Yeah,
And he
that'd
told
be the route to
Chris,
go.
he's gonna finish up the hydraulics on it and get it to Chris, and we'll have a total cost for it.
Cause we went, that next week, that the engineer was supposed to be here to do everything, right?
But we gotta look at this, y'all need to look at this. None of this water can be used on the east side of the county, where the bulk of our customers are.
And how many customers does he take
None
out?
of it.
Where our line
Do we
is.
have,
You can't
y'all
get
have
it there.
problems out there on the east before? Do we stay out of water and have trouble on the east
Never,
side?
it's just the bad water, the PFAS, and the Ewing water.
Dale, I wanna ask you a
All this
question.
money just spent ain't removing the stuff that we don't have water.
It'll
Did I
never be removed.
understand right?
You can't remove it.
correctly
You can't remove it.
that this board,
I'll tell you, I'll explain PFAS.
we do not wanna be
You can
a supplier,
spill
we wanna buy
A
our
gallon
water.
of it, I'll
Yeah,
agree.
that's my thought, so
And
then after
100
talking
years
to
from
some
now,
other
you can test it. And
system
it's the same
operators.
thing it was.
What does that do to your wells if you drill a well?
That was a chemical that was letting leach out.
Plumb's a lot-
Then you're a provider of water then, and
You
that's
got
not
the other
something,
people.
that's not something that, you know, everybody says, that's not, we wanna be a provider of water. We don't wanna be a provider of water, we wanna be a user of water.
Chris can tell you better than I can, and I'm just going on what me and him learned, and I hadn't talked to the engineers, but he has, we got emails from him. This guy thinks that water up there, you know, we've discussed, and we talked about last week, elevation and this, or last month, elevation and all this, and he thinks that, I'll let Chris tell you what he thinks, but he thinks they can turn on the pumps up there and furnish all the water you need, and we got no maintenance, all we got is maintaining that 10-mile line and getting water. And this will, if you use it, or if you take a load off Hamilton, you know, it's the same story. It's gonna help Hamilton, and you're gonna have backups either way. But that's a decision the board's gotta make.
But not, you know, if we had our druthers, we would use the Hamilton,
Steve,
city of Hamilton's, treatment plant there, and use that and run it, and it would service all of us,
Hamilton can help themselves, couldn't
Yeah.
they, Steve? Mhm.
so.
But by getting the water from, like you said, then we could probably get money to help fund more water lines back in our district, in District 1 and District 2. Could we do that? I mean, is
Well, that's one thing too, there's 450,000 gallons being pumped down that runs out on District 2. And that's my concern. Why are we not running lines left and right, and have not in the last 10 years, to District 2, to get rid of some of that water where it ain't sitting there stagnant like they say. That's my whole point. This has been going, this has been going on for 30 years over on the west side. People that don't live there don't realize it.
You was talking about Hale's, the backup water on Winfield. Did we not get onto them on this side, the east side?
What?
For a backup somewhere?
Yeah, on 129.
I mean, on 129, you just said Hale'ville and Winfield, so I mean, where you want to drill
Okay,
over here?
no,
Can we
no,
not tie on
no.
some of them?
We're not connected to Winfield.
But why can't we for a backup? Or why can't we do it to
We don't have any lines close to interconnect to Winfield.
Or Hale'ville?
We didn't have to do
Well,
that.
that's what I'm talking about. So there's a source, another source to tie on to besides drilling the well.
Right.
I sent an application in for that and it didn't get funded.
But there's another source, a way that we can get them water without drilling on
But
the
that would be on our
side.
list, our Christmas list, or whatever, you know, would be, to be able to run the Halo at
We
129.
talked about Halo,
Yeah.
Halo, I'm not sure, the way he talked, he could furnish a lot of water, he might could turn it on
Okay,
the pump.
okay.
Dale, you can, I think the thing that people don't realize, up here on the east side, y'all got Hackleburg, you've got Haleville, you've got Ewing, you've got Pea Ridge. You got plenty of water. All they're worried about, all I hear is let's get all these tied together. We don't have that source on Bull Mountain. We've got one, that's Hamilton. That's it. And if this don't happen, it'll never happen in our lifetime. We've got the opportunity to get it from, and the more we buy from them, the less it's going to cost. Greg can explain the cost on it, what Randy Schultz told him on the cost. And it's bad to have a good problem, and that's what the east side's got. They got plenty of water and connections. They just need money to tie into all of them. But on the west side, we have no other source, and it's the last two tanks that's filled up, and that's where your people is out 10 to 12, 14, 15 days. And if this line comes in, those people won't be out no more. And if Hamilton goes down, all they got to do is open the valves, and they can feed Hamilton.
from that line up there. Same way they do at Hackleburg, and they do at Hodges. Hodges water's on this. So,
I was up there Friday, but I looked at all of it, this is the water lines, plant, they're not even at half capacity. They need to sell water. They need to.
Chris, you have any idea how long it would take them to do this 10 mile?
You talking about
If it was
designing it or putting it in the
put in
ground?
the ground, the whole, everything.
I mean, it'd be dependent on weather and how quickly the contractor could get to it. I mean, it would be a complete guess if I told you a time
And that's
frame.
all we need.
A year.
How long does it take to dig these wells? And how much money is it gonna cost for these wells?
Nothing. The wells
Cost
are paid
something,
for.
it's taxpayers' money. How much money is these, have y'all got to spend on wells?
2.7 million.
2.7 million? And how long these wells, how long will they be in operation?
Indefinitely.
No, I'm talking about how long will it take to drill the wells and get them operated?
2026.
Okay, it has to be, all the money has to be used and everything operational before September the 15th of 26.
26, 2 years. So a year on this, guaranteed water, cheaper.
I've
And
not
if this-
ever done,
If
I've
this
not ever
board does
done,
not vote,
I've not ever done a project in a year.
well, it's still not 2 years.
It'd be about two, it'd be about two.
And it's 100% guaranteed it's good water.
You still have to.
Vina, I'm talking about.
You still have to
Yeah,
jump.
yeah.
I mean, not Vina, Franklin County.
But you still have to jump through all the hoops, your advertising and all that. It usually takes start to finish about 2 years.
But the wells is gonna take longer.
No,
And
it's
more
gonna
money.
take 2 years.
We don't know what you're gonna get into. There's no way to tell.
We
could eliminate Vine if we
That's right.
we're
Yeah.
eliminating, we're
Yeah,
talking about
eliminate.
stars over all.
And the question was asked,
Do that in negotiating with
Franklin County may go under.
yes.
This is what, Dale, this is what Chris said in, this is the question Stanley's asking. This thing, and I don't think y'all sent an engineer, y'all was going to do the 6-inch line to vinyl. Have y'all sent an engineer up there?
Yes, we got it.
We've got
And
it.
I showed you.
Okay, all right, I didn't know y'all had it.
Yeah.
But the one, what Stanley's asking, if we didn't do that, and that's what we're talking about, Stanley, you're absolutely right. We're going up to where the old Single Springs Church was, you know that territory. You turn right and you go by what they call Mobley Lake, stars over Alabama, and you go that way, and you go through the dirt road. There's a dirt road that's a mile shorter than going down 19, cut through, no houses on it, no nothing. You're not gonna pick no customers up either way you go. And that'd save 1.5, that'd save $150,000, $165, something's in there, if it's $30 a foot to lay the line. But the Vina deal, you would have to buy the water, and we would have to put a pumping station. And I'm just guessing with that, and I've not seen this, I don't even want to look at it, to be honest. I'm gonna say that's probably 1.7 or
More than that,
too big.
roughly around 2.6, looks like.
Okay, well, this project here, you've not got to do the pumping station, all you got to do is lay the line. And if you figure the line on it,
Well,
That's what I'm getting at. This estimate cost
because we're buying
Did you check to make sure that that wasn't gonna require
on
a
the 80,
pump station?
because
He
the
hadn't done the calculations yet.
watershed,
He says he
big
thought
bird that
with
pumps
the
it, they got
available
more
pressure,
pressure,
it's just got more pressure.
got more
That
pressure.
probably won't
They
be a
put it
problem.
Move to
The problem is the water is gonna have, the pressure's gonna
And you
have to be
can, we're a
reduced.
6-inch
at one
on
point.
2.4, that
If it's
right,
all
say
down
2.5, something in there.
You have to have a
There's a
pressure
whole
reducing
3.8.
station,
Oh,
and in
yeah.
order to
You
keep the
don't-
pressure
you really
back
don't.
up, and
From
get
a
it
6
it's probably gonna require a pump station.
He said he just wanted us to say that the route was fine and he told all the calculations.
Well, the question was asked a while ago, why don't we all get in the same room and talk? The question of why, the answer to that is because, Jan, what's your position at the water board here? Are you director over it?
Yeah,
We cannot get an answer out of you from the county commission to meet with us. It's always no, no, no.
no, y'all have never asked me to
I'm
meet.
speaking.
Y'all have never asked
We
me
would
to
never ask
meet.
you.
Never.
What
Never
do you
asked
think
me
we're
to
here
meet.
doing right now? What do you think we done the last week? What do you think we went to Montgomery?
Well,
to kill time?
I didn't get asked to go to Montgomery. I would have win.
But you would have win.
I would
All
have.
we do is argue with you. We want a solution where people get water.
I'm not arguing.
We want to work with the board.
This ain't doing any good.
No, what I want, we want to work with the board stop to get people water. Listen,
Anything that the
don't tell
board
me to
members
stop,
need
I'm
to stop
speaking.
the,
We want to work with the board to get people water. That's it. Where there's wells hooking up to Franklin County, y'all don't understand these people, their springs go drying up and their wells bad. They need water. And we don't care where it comes from. And we're trying to work with y'all, but it's no on everything. And you can shrug your head and roll your eyes all you want to, I don't care. We can't get a financial statement. We can't even get a map showing where the lines are in the ground at. No, you said you're going to bring it to our commission office. We haven't seen them yet.
I brought it that Monday night when they over there. We had it. Is anything that the board members need to discuss? Okay. All right. Engineer, that's all. We good? Minutes, everybody has had a chance to look at the minutes? Okay, I have a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make
Okay, I have a second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor say aye. Like sign. Okay. Financial report, has everybody had a chance to look at the financial report?
I make a motion to approve it.
Thank you, second. Second.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Like sign. Okay.
I got something for you just a minute.
Okay, all right, Steve, go
What are we,
ahead.
this we're doing on the vinyl stuff, on the project. We gonna try to sit down and we gonna keep it going, the board, I mean, look into it further. We need to
Well, I
address,
think,
you know,
Jeremy said, we gotta see what A&M come together.
that's what I'm
on
saying though, we need to sit down, some of us
Yeah,
together,
well, we don't get these conflicting stories, you know, everybody need to be on the same
same
page.
page.
I mean, and I'll be honest, I think there's been some very successful and beneficial communications on this since the last meeting. And I think we gotta keep moving towards that and not this calling names and doing all this other stuff. I mean, that solves nobody's problems. That's right.
I ain't causing problems and nothing, names, and nothing. I want answers. The people get water. We want some answers. That's all we want. That's what the people want.
Well, I'm saying I think all these people are trying to come up with
We'll
the,
bring that up.
Chris,
I think all these
something
people
pretty
are.
quick on, maybe in a week or two, so we need some numbers actually.
I mean, we need to look at this route, decide if we're okay with that route, or if we have any comments or changes that we want to make to that route. If we give him the go-ahead with this planned route, then he can figure the hydraulics on it, he can figure cost estimates, you know, he can get us all the numbers we need, but first we have to look at this route
Now,
and
that's
decide if
19, right?
That's the one we wrote.
Okay.
that's coming
That's
down
11 mile
Franklin
route.
County Highway 27, Single Springs
I
Baptist.
wrote it.
Yeah, once,
Yeah.
I'm not.
once we come up with the amount, then we can figure out, it's not gonna be enough grant money to do it. Then we can all figure out, if y'all decide to do it, then where we're gonna get the rest of the money.
We need to decide on this so we
Yep.
can get an accurate estimate and see if we're gonna have enough grant money or not.
No, I make a motion to what he just said.
Proceed.
I second that.
All in favor, say aye. Any like sign? Okay.
All right, but if the money, if the county commissioners are willing to,
Well, they done said they're gonna give us $1 million for that.
and then if the money, if the cost of laying the line is close to the amount in which they have promised,
Okay, you make a
then
motion. I make a stand with it.
we can get the you know, can we get the rest
There's
from?
2.7 million, and I'll put, there's, for that line, the hydraulics on it, no, you're not gonna have, You're not including the hookups to different places and all this. This is getting water to where we don't run into the same problem we've had for the last 2 years. And then the towns come after that.
Yes.
So this grant money should, you know, if we flip this and say the wells is out, let's do the line, that money should cover that, no problem.
And what I would recommend is if that is the case, and hopefully it is, if they're still willing to give that $1 million after that, we use that money to come off of that main line to serve new customers.
Now, I'd like to make a motion that we, get that line if it's possible. But the first thing we need to do is get the picture together and find out if we can use that money from the well. That's the thing. Then call a special meeting and not have to wait till next month to do it.
And we don't need to wait till. Can we get the senator or the representative here and say, yes, we can use that money, like?
You'll get it till the end of the month, because they'll, I think the spring breaks the end of March, I believe. If I'm not wrong, that I think they'll have a week or 2 off then. But I'll text.
Well, I don't want a couple of y'all board members and Jan just call the guy he talked to over ADM, talk to him. And he'll tell you the same thing he told us.
Sit down. That's what these tell.
You talking about Lance?
No.
We're talking about the head man over
Lance.
there.
Lance.
Go to the top.
Head man.
Where are these wells you're talking about? Whose land they gonna be put on?
Well, that decision hadn't been made yet.
When is that decision gonna be made? If you're gonna spend $2.7 million on wells, where are they gonna go? That's a good answer. I mean, a good question. I think people like to know where the wells are gonna go.
Well, the engineer's working that up yet. I mean, we don't know exactly. We know,
But you know they're gonna work, but we don't know where they're gonna go.
we know a general vicinity, but we don't know the exact spot.
So when will we know whose land these wells are gonna be put on?
When the engineer comes up here and we go out. We're not that far along with the project yet.
Okay. We've got everything.
No, the discount for the customer.
Yes, okay.
And,
Yes.
and the city. We want a city project.
Gotta vote on it.
Yeah,
Tie in on
we're
it.
going down the
I was
line.
just making sure we.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna forget it. You want me to go over it? Okay, we've had customers since they know that Hamilton's customers were getting a discount on their water during the freeze. We've had customers asking about a discount from us, and we've been telling them that that'll be a board decision, you know, that we can't do it on our own. But we're gonna have to figure out a way to do it, because we have about 800 customers that weren't affected, and then about 450 that were. And even if y'all decide to give them a discount, you know, even if we have to do hand calculations, we'll do it.
What Hamilton do, 50%?
They did. I think
I think
I make a motion, we do 50%.
All in favor, say aye.
For the affected customers. You motion to second.
Yeah.
You know pretty much from once, Jan, I'm sure.
I know. I can tell by the route.
That's what I'm saying.
I can tell by
I
the
got a
route.
question on that.
Tell.
If Hamilton's giving 50%, are they giving y'all 50%?
Well, that was gonna be our
That's,
next
gonna be the
that
next
was my question.
So we done
Y'all are a
discussed that
customer
today.
of them, they should.
We done
We
talked
need
about
to
it.
find out about that.
Yeah.
What we talked about.
Talked about it today.
Jeremy, do you know anything on?
I actually don't know. I know that initially,
We are a
the way,
customer.
yeah, I was gonna say, the way it was written, you know, I kind of interpreted that it was all customers, and it's a question of whether or not that separate contract is a customer in the meaning of that, but I will follow up with them. I don't think it's really that much money, one way or the other, in the great scheme of things, but.
Not in the great scheme of things. I think the check I took out there for the water for that month that we paid Hamilton was $8,200.
I looked at it today.
So half of that would
Half
be
of that.
$4,000. Okay. I will talk to the city about that.
Good.
And then, of course, you know, since we sell that water to our customers, we're just passing that discount on to them.
Is that
That's right, that's right. It's only fair.
start the talk, move on?
Well, it comes to my
That
attention.
that emergency interconnection down 49.
Go ahead.
Perry Franks is the mayor of Brilliant, and they've been buying water from Winfield for $5 a thousand. And Larry, what was he about the 2-inch line?
In my conversation with him Tuesday a week ago, he said that there was a 2-inch meter and a 2-inch line hooked with Marion County Water. And he said in the event they need water, they can't get it. They've always been told the tank's being filled. And he said that's the reason we get water from Winfield. He said they started out $5.50 a thousand, and he said I got them down to $5.
Yeah.
He said every time I get water from Winfield, it's costing us money because we don't sell it to our customers. That amount.
I think he told me he's eating $1. The city of Brilliant is having to pay that extra $1.
Wait now, I mean, Brilliant buys water from us.
But
They take him, his city clerk, and the channel, who's over the water authority, or their water system. He said, we cannot get water from the county, they tell us they're filling the tank. And
That's
he
not
said,
complete.
we've been paying $75 a month for
Minimum.
20+ years
Minimum bill,
for
yes.
that meter. He said, that comes nearly $22,000. I said, you're right. And he said, we ain't got water to show for it.
21.
Yes, we can. We can. Ewan controls the pumps that pump to that tank that Brilliant can draw off of.
Well, if it's coming off county water and he contacts county and they tell him he can't get it because tank's been filled, I mean, he's telling me it's the county that's telling me this.
Well, you know, it's not just that. It's hydraulics too. If they open their valve and flow it as hard as they want to, it's put customers upstream. You know where Jasper Hill is?
I do.
It puts customers upstream. The water's flowing so fast that it puts those customers out of water. So we have to regulate the amount that they can get. We do.
But he told me every time he calls for water, he can't get it, so he has to buy it from Winfield, which charges him $5.
That's his exact words to me.
And he told me today at work, he
Well, I
said
don't know why he
every
didn't come down
time,
here.
he said every time he requests his water, he can't get it. Then he has to buy water from Winfield, which if it was me, I'd tell Winfield where they stick the water. But
Well, if you can't get water.
But he can't get water, but he has to pay, so the city of Brilliant
Certain
has to
systems
eat.
have to have what
They
they,
have to
yeah,
eat.
have what they, you gotta charge
So he
what you
takes
gotta
it out of the
charge.
general fund.
Don't you
to
say
pay
it's
Winfield,
here?
have a little problem on that.
Which
Don't you
is,
say hydraulics?
that should not be, Winfield shouldn't be charging.
To Brilliant?
Yeah.
You've
Brilliant,
been down
that
Jasper Hill.
outrageous.
You know where
I'm not
Jasper,
familiar with all that.
it's a hill that goes down like this right here.
but when he
Getting
requests
so much
water,
pressure.
he can't get
Yeah,
it.
we got a pressure using station too.
What you just told
We
me.
do.
Okay.
Larry said,
Yeah.
the mayor of
We just keep
Brilliant
calling
is saying we can't get water.
Brilliant will open
And Jan said we're
so
regulating that water.
fast
So if you're regulating it, they're getting
too
water.
quick
So there's another
that
story.
it's,
Who's
that it's
telling the
pulling the
truth?
water so
That's the
fast, the
problem.
customers up the hill are completely out.
Jan, if
Sir?
I may ask, I just told Dale this. Larry is saying, and Eric is saying, the mayor of Brilliant is saying we cannot get water. We paid $22,000 over the years. We've not got no water out of those
They've
lines.
never called and talked to us
And you
about
sat
it.
here and you just said it a while ago, we regulate that water to them. So if you're regulating it, they're getting water.
They are
But now,
getting
who's telling the truth? Are you telling the truth or is the mayor telling the
They've
truth?
never called us with
So-
complaining.
Well, why are you saying we regulate their water if you're not pumping them water? Why didn't you say, they've never asked me for
Well,
water?
they haven't. But in the past, when they've opened the valve to,
I understand the hydraulics, I got
Right.
that.
you know, when they call and say,
But
we
why are they
need,
paying for a meter and you can't pump them water for 20 years? I mean, that's between y'all and Bria. And
Yeah.
Larry's over there, and I'm with Larry on this. If they're saying they got a meter set and they're paying that monthly bill for that and they've never received water from it,
oh, they're getting water. They're getting water.
Where's that water coming from?
What?
What one put you in?
How are they getting water?
Hey, Rich.
Bill?
Hey, Rich. It's coming from Hey, Rich.
So bottom
That's
line.
what I'm wondering.
Yeah, it has to come all the way down that hill.
I don't know.
Which is from Ewing,
Uh-huh.
the main force.
I got one thing to say, I'm gonna leave on that. I would like, I brought this up at the last meeting, and I'll be short with it. I brought up the chicken houses, and I told y'all that the bills went up. Dale tells me they didn't go up, Jan said they didn't go up. I got a man here I would like y'all to listen to for 5 minutes, and I'll not ask for nothing else.
Nobody asked me on the agenda.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just asking Dale.
Yeah, it is.
We ain't on the agenda, but we're talking, so.
All right, is anything else?
Let's get back to what I asked for to go. I either didn't hear, did we come to any conclusion on what we're gonna do about that line they're talking about?
Yeah, that's what you brought up.
After they get set to know, we're gonna come back and vote to do it or not.
We're waiting to get everything done.
I'll talk to him
But
tomorrow.
we still need to make some calls, make sure we have the money.
I want
Greg,
Ken, maybe,
I just sent Garland a message to see if he could meet with y'all and
and
Mr.
you'll know
LaFleur.
y'all, before we all
No, I
see.
just told him, cause I'm done. I told him that I wanted him to meet with y'all,
Good.
Mr. LaFleur, and y'all handle it.
That's good, I appreciate it. That's
Who
what
did you
we'll
talk
do.
to?
Garland Gudger, I just sent him a
We'll
message
meet, set a meeting
Okay, I
up.
didn't hear you.
and told him to see if he could meet with y'all and Les LaFleur sometime this week.
That'd be great.
Some of us have to call the kid, go to Montgomery.
I've been there a dozen
How
times.
much are y'all
I
paying?
Or
have to.
more.
I'd go
Or
with you.
more.
How much are y'all paying for water? How much are y'all paying Hamilton?
We're fixing to pay Hamilton $3.50 a
Yeah, it's
thousand, because it's going up.
We pay them $260, Rodney told me.
Rodney told
What do
me
y'all
it's fixing
charge
to go
for
up $3.50 a thousand.
We have a rate structure, it depends on how much you use.
What's the highest,
Well,
what did y'all go up
too
to?
cheap.
What have y'all, what can y'all max out at?
What we're wanting to know, Jan, to make it short, Kenneth's wanting to know what y'all's financial statement is, how much money
I
y'all
gave-
bring in and how much y'all gave him. You gave Greg one that was 3-year-old. We want one of last month, how much you bring in and how much you're putting out. That's what we want to know. That's what Kenneth said.
Well, I'm also asking if you give it to what for Hamilton? How much,
260 a
how much are
thousand.
y'all charging customers?
Well, it depends on how much they use.
Well,
And
just
it's
give me a,
not that
give me
easy.
a figure, what did y'all raise the
Are you
rates?
charging them $260? I mean,
No, we can't
What?
charge them what we buy it for.
you have a basic rate and then
Base
it's
rate.
a certain percent per gallon after
Okay, our basic rate is
$38.
$28.60 for 3,000 gallons,
Okay.
which
You can divide that up and
has-
figure that, okay.
Hamilton has $20.38, but they're only allowing 2,000 gallons. So that basically equals, yeah, but your customers are only getting 2,000.
2,000.
So our customers are getting 3, and everybody usually, especially the ones that are on a fixed income, don't ever have to pay anything over the $28.60.
Okay,
We keep it low for them.
right now, just go over this one more time. Now, you gonna get us?
I just sent Laura a message, I was sitting right back there and said.
Then maybe Thursday.
In Lansing, Florida this week.
He's in Montgomery, so he's gonna have to probably get it together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we meet at the commissioner?
It'll be, I'll have to wait for Garland to fix me back, I just sent.
Just let us know. We need
So
to
we
go,
can
we'll
all
go.
come up there to the commissioners
All right,
and meet.
now what about the old Hattiesburg, Hamilton Road?
You want me to? Okay. Hamilton wants authority and y'all's permission to do an emergency interconnection with us up north of, Sugar Bend. And I've looked at the plans, the master meter for Hamilton's gonna be north of our pump station. And me and Heath Reed and our engineer had all talked about it's gonna need a pressure using station. Because you have to reduce the pressure coming off that hill, or it'll blow everything out down here. And so that is all that we want to vote on tonight, I think. And our engineer and their engineer will get together and make sure everything's gonna work. And, they're just wanting to know if the board is agreeable with them doing the emergency
I would
interconnection.
make it real close to plans than I am, I'm for it.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I'll make all same copy.
Rodney made a
I
motion.
have,
Yeah.
Steve, did you second it?
I did.
All in favor, say aye. Like sign. Okay. So we'll get that to them. Okay. All right. Next meeting is,
I got something.
oh, I'm sorry, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, we talked a couple months ago about the meter setting, or the paying the $900 for a meter.
Yeah.
I talked to Rodney Williams about that. And the city, if there's a meter already sitting there, all they do is charge them a deposit.
But
If
that's,
there's not a meter, they charge them the $800 plus the deposit. So I want the board to look at what we've got, because if there's a meter already sitting there, we shouldn't be charging
Charging
anybody.
them $900.
But if it's
I mean,
rain,
Let me ask you
Yeah.
something, how much are we actually paying, the time you pay Jody and our materials, how much are we costing us to set a
to
meter?
set a meter?
Just set it right off the right of way, how much?
Okay, well, and a road board, we pay Jody 12, which is about half what anybody else would charge, if you looked at it
Well, I'm talking
realistically.
about if I just call you, you set me a meter, just set it in my front yard right off, how much are we, materials and his labor is it costing us?
Well,
Out of that 800, are we breaking even or are we gaining or what we doing? The
okay,
800,
okay, the 800, if it's a meter, the 800 is our meter, the, service line, the installation and everything, and I figured it up. You can't believe what brass is going for now.
Oh, I know what.
well, that's what I'm saying, are we even
Yeah.
breaking even or what are we doing? We're paying him and doing it.
We're breaking even.
So we're not, I mean, at 800, it's taking just about all of it.
Yeah, but if we do a board, if we do a road board, it's 12.
Okay.
in
But just a
which-
normal set, we still just about $800, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Do y'all do all road boards when you swap over?
for the customer, to put
Yeah.
the meter on the customer
Yeah.
side, yeah, we do.
Y'all do all road boards, y'all don't dig the highway across?
No, well, unless we have something specific that we get approval from, and I've not had to ask you for approval for anything. If a road looks as if it has been cut previously, then whatever commissioner was in place, we got permission for them to do it, but we don't normally do that at all. We do bores. Cost us more money, but
Gets them all on the same side.
saves the road.
Well, when y'all put lines on the right of ways, who inspects this? Who inspects the?
Well,
don't have
if,
an inspector that goes with the
If you go through a
contractor.
grant, you gotta have an inspector on the job site.
Was the inspector getting paid off because there's lines laid on top of culverts, through culverts?
let's just
I
make
mean-
this over with.
Hey, we deal with the right of ways, I know what I'm talking about.
This is very important what Ken's saying.
We need the contractor to put the lines outside of our culverts so they're not going through them, on top of them. And when we gotta change these out, this makes it very difficult.
Very difficult.
I understand that.
And we deal with this.
And you can follow a lot of them, and I wish he was been here tonight, the Walker boy. You can follow these contractors, and I know who done the one at Greg Burgett's and them. And a lot of times, and I know when they're doing it in the wintertime, it's gonna be messy, but there's a lot to go back and work on. And I've worked on Highway 25 this past summer, this past fall. I have redone and redone, and I can go show you, and, if Jeff was here, he can tell you. And the biggest thing that I was doing, and I spent 3 weeks on 25 and 20, the biggest thing I was doing is covering watering lines up to keep us from busting them with tractors and bush hogs.
Well, when they wash,
Dorsey Taylor store, all of that, we done it. Down through there with Preacher Sutton's, you can look at it, there's water lines laying on top of the ground. They've been exposed like that forever, and we've done work on them all the way down 20.
When
That
we
is a
find them,
problem with a contractor.
when we
Somebody
find
needs-
them, we fix them, but some of them, we just don't know they're there.
No, these have been known, because they've been there forever.
And we're trying not to go this route, but if we keep having to come to like this all the time, we're gonna start charging y'all to use our right of ways. Because of our right of ways, we gotta call 811 continuously on culverts and stuff that's put in the ground that we had no control of.
Steve's seen culverts drilled, and I can go show you some in the city limits where they went, they cut the ends of the culvert off, laid the line, but that, they just need to addressing those shoulders like he's talking about. They need some upkeep on them.
Sometimes the cheapest contractor ain't the best contractor.
Right.
Sometimes you don't get a good engineer for
You're
it,
right.
but it doesn't go right.
That guy that laid those over at Greg Burkett's through there to Baxter, they left their backhoe over a year sitting over in a neighbor's yard with flats on it.
But when you're
For
bidding
over a
that
year.
job, you wanna get your best price, and if they way down there, you know,
Yeah.
you hope the
You get what
engineer
you pay
follows
for.
up. You always get a good engineer.
You get what you pay for.
Get back to my question. We got off subject. I mean, my opinion, if there's a meter in the ground, we ought not be charging $900.
Let me tell you, we got into that when I was over Hamilton. You get a grant, 80/20, you go out here and it's aggravating because somebody don't tie on it. But what we finally figured out, is just what you said. Finally, the board, the mayor, we sat down and said, look, we set the meter under the grant, charge them $100, let them have the water.
If we have to set a meter, then we charge them
But
whatever.
if the meter
If
is
there's a meter
existing on
there,
that
we
property,
just charge them the deposit and go on.
What does the meter cost, Steve, of normal, just out?
$800, that's what we was talking about. If we ain't making, that's what I was asking her about.
I think the city charges $900 for what Rodney told
But
me.
if the meter's already there, and you buy,
Yeah, I got you.
They were set under the grant.
Yeah, I think,
Stipulated.
Yeah.
I think the reason, well, at that particular time, you can't charge them the tap fee, but if people don't hook on, then you can go back and charge the tap fee.
If they don't hook
That's up
on,
to
we
the
come
board.
to you.
It's up to us.
And that's why there's empty meters sitting everywhere. It's basically, it's kind of incentive. Is if the contractor, if you get a grant and the contractor's doing the work, and you go out door to door, I do, I go to every door, and I'm like, if you hook on now, it's just gonna cost you $300. But if you wait until after a deadline, then you've got to pay the normal tap fee that everybody pays. And it's an incentive to people to hook on. You don't want to put $250,000 in a grant and go serve 120 customers and only 40 of them hook up because the wells hadn't gone dry or the
Don't
pumps
set a
hadn't
meter
torn
there
up.
if they ain't signed up for it.
Well, that's what we're talking about. We don't set a meter. We set a box, but we don't set a
The
meter.
situation was up, Eric.
Well, you still put the connection in, though. You got the box, I mean, all you do is go in there and slapping the meter in. So, I mean, the connection, you are setting in.
But if there's a meter already there and it's locked,
yeah, if there's already a meter there.
Well, there's not supposed to be. If the
But connection,
customer
they're the
don't
same
take the
thing.
water, we don't normally set a meter in the box. That was the
I'm setting
contractor's
meters all day,
mistake.
I mean, the boxes, that's still a connection. You get a meter.
Jeremy, y'all make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
That, what, they tell us what.
I make a motion that we don't charge the $800 or not, was it 800 or 900?
900.
You change.
If there's a meter or
If there's a meter in
If
the
there's a
box,
meter there, we don't charge them.
Yeah, but
deposit.
All we
now,
charge them is
You
the
gotta
deposit.
make a
How much is the
connection.
deposit?
There's a box there too, that's a connection.
We need to make
If
sure
that
the
connection's
language is
been
right.
made on site, that's still the connection. Just cause a meter in it, don't mean it ain't a connection. The connection's there.
So
So, I
would
mean-
you say if it's a connection, or if there's just
That's
a meter
right.
in the ground?
You can't just
Which-
say the meter. If you
the
do that, the
connection.
meter's,
So you're
well,
saying any
you probably
connection.
pull the meters, don't you, and use them somewhere else if they're not using them.
I go out and sign people up. And the people who take the water, we put their meter in the box. And if they don't take the water, we put it in the warehouse.
That's
and
what I'm
use it.
saying. So you pull in the meter, but the connection's still there.
Yeah.
For the people, you know,
That's right.
so.
That's right.
That's right. So your connection's still there.
The
So you just need to make sure that if there's connection on that property, we just charge them $100, regular deposit.
So you're saying the connection. Doesn't
Is that what you
Both.
worded?
if there's already a connection.
You just make that motion how you want it worded, Steve.
I guess you just put it that if there's a a meter or connection, if there's connection on property, your property or any
All you pay is a
property,
deposit.
then you just put up $100 deposit. Connection, not meter, if there's a connection there.
All right. Anything else? Next meeting is.
We didn't vote on
We
that.
gotta vote on it, I made the
wait.
motion.
Wait. You made the
I'm
second.
sorry.
Oh,
You made the motion.
Steve made a motion.
Motion.
I got a second.
Okay, Ellen.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Like sign. Okay. Next meeting. be
Let's
April,
see here, April the 2nd. Yeah.
Motion to adjourn? All right.
I make a motion, Chris.